Yeah. So my story will be about how to adapt AI tools into your company, into your organization, and how to teach developers to use them. Because on the very start, there will be a lot of resistance from the development teams, and how you start adopting AI is really depend on what you get. Because firstly, when we started this way, we failed, and what am I why am I here to share you our lessons learned and our knowledge how to properly adapt AI usage into your company, to your organization. So I will guide you through how we implement adoption for dev teams, for QA teams, for BA teams, for marketing teams, and for pre-sale teams also. So the really important part is how you start this AI adoption. So because when we start it, we fail it. Why we failed? For several reasons. First of all, we choose kind of chaotic projects without any processes. The second one, we don't measure anything. It's really a uh, valuable thing, and you need.
Typical what I hear, right? Yeah.
Unfortunately, but yeah. And the third one, um, we don't provide to our developers enough tutorials, enough workshops, enough materials how to use AI tooling. So we just drop them tools and said, please use it. This was the real mistake. After several months of this experiment, we resynced it and we made some changes. Yeah. So now
They made you the boss of this project, and you had to actually do
yeah.
something with that.
abs-
Am I remember? Yeah.
Yeah. And the second try, so we pick one project from the start, from the scratch, and four projects that have previously some metrics, that have straight processes, and that have really senior teams. And we defined the metrics. The metrics. So what we measured, first of all, it SPI, so schedule performance index. The second metric that we measure is the estimated time versus logged time in JIR. The third one is bug rate. Next one is production fixed time. And the real thing that is important is when you try to adopt some AI usage, you need also to measure how much time does your engineer spend on creating prompts, how much time your engineers spending on reviewing outputs of your uh, AI model or AI agent, and user satisfaction. User satisfaction, because not all of the tools is kind of um, liked by developers. And the last one is process automation rate, because not all of the tasks can be done by AI, and some of the tasks really need to like manual working. So we measure all of these metrics, and each week we take a look on these metrics and decided what to do next. So we need to stop this experiment or we need to continue. And the second thing that you should really do is educate your teams. So what we do from our side, on first we create the workshop how to properly set the cursor, because we focused only on one tool. It was the cursor, because at that point it has a lot of features. It has really a great user experience, UI, and competitors don't have enough features that the cursor. And we spent like first event that we where we gathered all our developers, was how to properly migrate from other tools like JetBrains or etc. to Cursor, and about the advanced usage of cursor. For example, how to use agent, how to use rules, how to use cursor ignore file, create cursor ignore files, how to use commands, and how to use MCP servers also with cursor. So all of this stuff, it's not obvious stuff, and we gathered our team and teach them how to do this. And next one, we conducted each week one workshop. For example, workshop how to write a backend service with Cursor, how to connect Cursor with MCP server with Figma and create UI components, or how to troubleshoot with Cloud Code in connected to AWS account, and how to troubleshoot the errors that we get from production, for example. Also, another one was how to create efficient prompt to create to conduct code review, and that's what that how we teach our dev team. But we don't limit it only on dev team. We also teach our QA engineers how to create efficient prompts for creating test cases. And actually, for now, as I thinking, the greatest test management system is QSphere, because it for, firstly it's really cheap to competitors, and the second, it has native AI integration, which can help QA engineers to create checklists, to create test cases, to create low-level test cases, detailed, high-level test cases, and the great feature that it even can create test cases based only on screenshot of your design, which is really great. But not all our customers use this QSphere, and some of them use their own test management system. And for that customers, we teach our QA engineers how to create, for example, in ChatGPT, a custom agent based not only like for only on requirements, but also we provided additional context for domain specific, for test design techniques, and for validation rules, for example, as additional context. And based on this additional context, it is more we get more accuracy in creating these cases. About marketing teams, so before, our marketing teams, they gather all of the information like in manual way, like opening the site, copy pasting some information, and blah blah blah. So we learn them how to connect Claude to Playwright MCP server, and just type in the prompts what they need, and all of the George stuff, I would say, will do this Claude with Playwright.
So, actually, metrics and learning.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
the top.
those two pillars or whatever.
Yeah.
How do you guys collect those metrics from all those processes? Do you use any AI powered tools or just Jira and everything? And
Actually, for collecting metrics from Jira, we created like the script that that collect all of the logged time from Jira by API. So it was automated, just a Python script. For user experience, we made the servers every week.
okay, I see.
So
And
this
yeah, thank you for sharing. And the second question was, um, you started to teach your engineers how to use quite obvious things.
it's not
That's a question for me because on the one thing, on the one side, I understand that actually give the engineer 2 days. Don't overload with some projects, and they will figure out, right? But on the other hand, as Andrew mentioned, actually people push back, and probably this learning was like part of conveniencing process or whatever. How did it work? Yeah, please elaborate that.
why people resist, because they don't know how to use. And like the typical way of resistant was, oh, I tried something and it give me shit, so I don't believe that it could be.
Of course, no one will tell you I'm too lazy
Yeah,
to learn
yeah,
something. Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. And you should provide this guidance to these guys. You should teach them how to properly create the prompt, because there is a lot of techniques how you may create this prompt. You should teach them how to create again these cursor rules, because it really powerful thing. You should learn. You should teach them how to create, for example, commands, because it is again it's a really great thing. And again. When you show by examples how you may do this work, people adopt this.
Okay, thank you very much. And but when we spoke with you, you mentioned that you extended literally every role in your SDLC with AI tools, and you have sort of process of experimenting with different tools. Can you share about that? That's interesting one.
We investigated a lot of tools, and for now, our company used mainly as main EDE is Cursor. For code review, we use CodeRabbit with Code, CodeRabbit or Code. For BA processes for creating requirements, we use ChatPRD. This is really again the great one of the greatest tool that we saw. For QA, as I mentioned, we use QSphere. Marketing teams use Claude plus MCP server with Playwright. Or the one thing that is great, also I forgot to mention, is about our pre-sales team, because for pre-sales, the really thing where pre-sale team is struggle is estimating some stuff, because it takes a lot of time. And what we did, we create the custom ML model that helps estimate projects based on the keywords, based on the features. So we gathered around 100 previous pre-sales and projects. We gather all of this data. We
Yeah,
saw
and
all
talk.
of
Yes,
this data,
sure.
yeah, and created our custom ML model that was based on this actual data. And now our pre-sales teams actually use this ML model for estimating, and it's really great stuff.
Well, how it exactly works? Because like I'm an entrepreneur. I want to know more about that part. So at what part do they use it, during sales calls or during what do they
After
have?
the sale, after the client sent us RFP, for example,
Wow.
and yeah, after that, we may create a high level of user stories, then said to this AI model like made a um, word breakdown structure for these user stories and estimated. And this
Okay,
is,
cool.
you have
But
like 2 minutes, and you get 100 or 200 of user stories estimated for backend, frontend, mobile, and QA.
I hope it counts well because
Yeah, yeah.
it
Us,
is, you know,
our architects reviewing it and be providing feedback. Where
so human is always or is the loop or
of
in
course.
charge. Yeah, the last thing I would love to ask you about is yes, tooling, but you mentioned that like market is evolving always and constantly and new tools coming up. How can you make how can you be sure that you are using the perfect tooling or the best tooling on market, and how do you evaluate and then probably you change your courses and learning and everything?
You need to definitely R&D department for it. You need to try all of the competitors. You need to try a lot of tools, and you need to gather the feedback from your engineers, because they are the first line
Mm.
of adoption.
Okay. Thank you very much. So thank you for sharing. Uh, uh, the reason I was so surprised to hear like all this structured actually picture from you, because I spoke with more than 100 engineering managers. Lots of people speak about AI powered SDLC and stuff, but when you ask something specific, that doesn't actually. Oh well, we're trying. We have idea or something, but you guys have these processes and. Did you mention you record all these videos, video lessons, or how do you work?
It is in internal usage only, so we are not posting it on external usage. We have a learning management system in our organization where this course is recorded, and every developer will, when they are starting a new project, they should go to this course and finish it. It takes around 2 days to finish it, but it's really valuable. Yeah.
Okay. So if I am your engineer and I'm onboarding on some new project and maybe I'm
Days.
the new, so you given me 2 days actually of my salary to learn all this AI experiment. Wow.
Yeah, it is our investment in learning, in teaching. Yes, yes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you hear we need to be AI first, that's what means to be AI first. Like
Yeah, you need to teach people. Without it, you are nothing. You will spend a lot of money and you will get no results. You need to teach people because it's new tool, it's new approach, it's completely different approach for creating software. You need to teach people how to do it.
yeah,
This is responsibility of top management.
can you feel this heart? The heart of this manager, he's with his people, inside of the situation, like not letting them down. Yeah, thank you very much for sharing this. And yeah, guys, if you have questions about those processes to Arthur, please go ahead. Rahid, Andrew.
Wow, this is great. So, I mean, I think one thing which I see from you is like you're using some of the tools for product management. I think that's something which you mentioned.
Chat PRD, yes, yes.
What's the chat PRD?
Yes. It's called chat.
And then when you're getting these requirements, you also does it also take into account, uh, the how does that work? Like, what's the ingestion flow works like? Because it's always a funnel. Like, do you do double diamond or like I mean, some companies do double diamond or like some other way to do that. So, what's your approach on like getting the ideation to fruition?
Again, first of all, we need to create the data that we will feel that we will feed with to chart PRD. So for our approaches, first of all, it's domain specific knowledge. Second, we should always include like additional validation rules and the template for the user stories or requirements that you expect to get as outcome. So this is the three pillars that we have.
How did you create the DSL, domain specific language or domain specific model?
So we don't create domain specific language. We pass it in a plain text. Yeah.
Okay, put it in the plain text, and then how these validation rules are guardrailed across all these tools.
Let's start from the beginning. When you create the user requirements, yeah, you add this validation rule as additional context. Then uh, again, this validation rules is stored somewhere in Confluence, for example, in one page. Then when you create, for example, implementation of backend services, you provide these validation rules in cursor rules. So when you use cursor, you may add the additional context for creating prompt, like set to cursor, like use these rules for creating some of the service. And you put these validation rules in a markdown file called, for example, dot cursor validation rules dot md. Then, when you create the test cases for it, you also provide these validation rules to context of, for example, ChatGPT custom agent. So this goes through the all of the process.
I see what you're saying, and then Andrew, like on the similar line, like you can ask on the similar question. Is it something the same validation rule can be used for Zencoder?
Yeah, we support our roles. We'll support cursor roles for interoperability. We support right now multiple agents have different default initialization prompts called agents MD, clone MD, Gemini MD. We support those as well. So yeah, it's part of that. I think of it as DevOps supporting kind of traditional software development lifecycle. I don't know the better term, but there's modern organizations need kind of AI DevOps, right? They need that structure that helps onboard engineers and that helps quote unquote onboard agents. The only difference is you kind of onboard human once as opposed to for agents it's 50 first dates. Like every run is a brand new world, so you gotta make sure they stay on track, and the context is much more limited. Like for human, you can give them continuous download, as you said, long-term memory, as opposed to agents. You better feed it, or like say about 50,000 tokens. They all are much longer context, right? Like typical 200,000, and there's Sonnet for and Gemini for 1,000,000 tokens. But in real world, I think your all instructions and all context and all rules better fit in about 50,000 tokens. If you go beyond that, more likely than not, you're not giving model. It's going to start getting confused on longer trajectories.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much. And one question I have to you, Artur, also, do you think these new ideas are actually limiting possibilities and options? Because when you are in VS Code, you can connect everybody there, right? So anyone, and you just switch between, I don't know, Zencoder to Amazon Q or GitHub Copilot, and then back if you want. But when you are on Coursera or any, I don't know, Windsurf, I believe they also have their own ID, right? So yeah, don't you think it limits you? Because I see this trend in social media, and I speak with people. They saying, "Well, I move back. I move back."
I love Artur perspective, but I'll jump as here as well. So I think there are two different audiences. So one is professional engineers, and professional engineers, for example, in enterprise, there's a lot of C# Java developers, and they do not like Cursor because Java developers like JetBrains and C# developer need Microsoft native tools because Microsoft does not give good C# support for Cursor. So for that segment of developers, I think tool like Zencoder that works with existing IDEs is much better. And then there's kind of the opposite. If you're like Vibe Coder and you just need a single download, then from that perspective, single download would work better. But I think those people I get an even better luck with like Lovable or Replit or something like in the browser where they don't even need to download anything like there. It's all taken care of, right? So I think that's. And then there's people in there in the middle, like Python, JavaScript, those.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely.